Hi everybody, welcome to the video. Before you jump to a reading, let me tell you that later on in this introduction, I'm going to walk through each of these oracle cards just in case, one is maybe not speaking to you strongly, and I'll tell you what the cards mean and maybe that will direct you towards a reading. And I also want to tell you a little bit about the spread we're doing today and the questions that we're asking. So we're going to investigate your future lover. It does not matter if you're single, in a relationship, whatever. If you're curious about what is in store for you with the future in terms of lovers, this will hopefully give you some insight and some information. We're going to find out what you need to do before you meet them, their personality, how you'll meet them, when you will meet them, what you will have in common with them, your differences, and some advice for you. The oracle cards that we have here are from Scylla Conway, the Multidimensional Devas. Love this deck, it's very beautiful. And we're actually using Scylla Conway's tarot deck for this reading as well, the Shimmering Veil Tarot. I use this in another video of mine if you would like to check that out. It's like a full moon energy check-in where we do kind of a Celtic cross just to see what's going on in your life right now. So if there's a full moon coming up or just happened, that would be a good video for you to check out. Otherwise, if you feel drawn to a specific crystal or an image in the card, you can go to your reading, take what resonates and leave the rest as always. Otherwise, if nothing is really sticking out to you, I'm going to walk through what each of these oracle cards means, and maybe one will speak to you. But before I do that, if you enjoy your reading, please leave a like and comment. Let me know what you think, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm a new channel and all of those things really help me out. Okay, let me walk you through these cards. So our first card here, this card is hubris or arrogance. If that has a meaning to you or that message calls out to you, then this might be your reading. Next, we have the fifth dimension. This dimension is the bridge between the physical and the non-physical, and it's a place where we encounter a lot of different energies. Lots of light energy. This next card we have the last tree. If that evokes a strong emotion in you, this might be your reading. This card is the Devas, which is divine consciousness, seeking connection to the divine consciousness. Next, we have lies and malice. This is definitely a shadow card. Perhaps you've been doing some shadow work recently around love, relationships, romance. This might be your reading if that is a strong message for you. And lastly, we have synchronicity, which I like to call kind of like divine coincidence. Things happening coincidentally, but it's for a reason. Okay. Hopefully you have a reading that is really calling out to you right now. If not, take an extra second and clear your mind, meditate, take deep breaths, whatever you need to do to have a clear head to make sure that the reading is going to be the most accurate. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy. Reading number one, welcome. Before we get started, I am curious what brought you to this reading. The crystal, the image, or the actual meaning of the card, which is hubris or arrogance. Again, we're going to be looking at 7 different things, and we have our cards here to learn more about your future lover. So the first one is what you need to do before you meet them. Okay, we have the Ace of Water. Always super exciting to see in a love reading because it means that love is on its way, it's coming, and I think what you need to do is be ready for it. Make sure that you are open and vulnerable and receptive. I feel like it's going to be coming in very soon, and you just have to make sure that you're ready for it so you can take full advantage of what's coming. Okay, let's see their personality. 9 of Air reversed. So I think they're recently coming out of a bad time. Something unfortunate, something bad might have happened that might have caused them some pain, grief, loss, depression, things like that. But this card is reversed, so they're coming out of that and they're starting to see the world with color again. So they're emerging from this difficult time right now. How will you meet them? Okay, we've got the 6 of Water. So a few things this could mean. It could be somebody from the past, because the 6 of Water is a card that's all about looking at the past, nostalgia, memories, things like that. So you could already know this person and they could be from your past. Alternatively, you might meet them by returning to a place where you feel a lot of memories and nostalgia, a place that's very connected to your past, like maybe going home to visit your family or something like that. You could also meet them at a gathering that has a lot of nostalgia and memories going on. Like, I think that like people love to reflect on like birthdays, anniversaries, things like that. So it could be that. Okay, let's see when you will meet them. 8 of Water reversed. So immediately in this photo, I'm seeing a full moon. So you could meet them around a full moon. This could also indicate in Cancer season, which we're in right now if you're watching this video right after it's published. Cancer season is like late June to late July. Could also be the meaning of this card, the 8 of Water, is entering a new situation. So if something is changing in your life right now, once that change is completed and you've entered the new situation, that might be when this person comes into your life. Okay, let's see what you have in common. The 4 of Fire reversed. Okay, so it looks like you both have been through some difficult times. You both, at one point, things were so difficult, you both might have lost faith, but you both stayed very persistent and you used the inner resources that you had available to you in order to get through that difficult time. We can probably see that this person is fresh out of that. You might not be fresh out of it. It could be something that you've been dealing with for a while, but you will have this in common. Okay, so your differences, we have the 3 of Air. One of you is going to be more emotional and the other person is going to be more logical. You can see in the card we have the heart and the head. One of you is going to be more driven by the head. One of you is going to be more driven by your heart. And some advice for you. Tower reversed. Don't be scared. This is just advice. So I think that this confirms that you have been through some difficult times. You might have gone through a traumatic event and it hasn't been properly resolved yet. So resolving that trauma and that pain from that traumatic event will help you have a healthy relationship with this person. The Tower usually speaks to an event that was outside of your control, might have been very shocking or very sudden, and it caused you a lot of pain. Work on resolving that, and I think that will help you be open and ready for what is coming, and it seems like it might be coming soon. I'm very excited for you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Leave a like if you did. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this or a question that you would like to answer in a future video, and let me know what brought you here. Otherwise, thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope I see you in the next video. Welcome to reading number 2. Before we go through the cards, I would like for you to leave a comment down below to let me know what brought you here. Was it the crystal? Was it the image of the oracle card? Or was it the meaning of the oracle card, the 5th dimension, which is about the bridge? The 5th dimension is the bridge between the physical and the non-physical, and about encountering energies, a lot of light energy, things like that. Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious about what's resonating with people, so I know what to include in future videos, because certain things resonate with others and certain things don't, you know what I mean? Okay, so we're going to start off with understanding what you need to do before you meet your future lover. Again, we are looking at information to do with your future lover and what they'll be like. Okay, so what do you need to do before you meet them? Okay, we have the Strength card. So I think you have some shadow work that you might need to do, and that's work on like the less nice parts of ourselves. Shadow work mainly about working through the fears that you have about love and relationships, any confusions that you have maybe from past relationships, looking at what you desire in another person, what makes you angry. And apart from that shadow work, if you're going through a difficult time right now, if something is challenging for you, you need to get through that before this new lover is going to enter your life. Okay, let's take a look at their personality. The 8 of Air. Okay, so I think they're going to be shy. The 8 of Air, you can see that the person is kind of restrained, but it's a restraint of their own doing. So they hold themselves back and they might be reserved and shy. All right, let's take a look at how you will meet them. Okay, the Ace of Fire. I think you're going to meet them through some kind of a new opportunity related to work or like creativity. So if you get put on a new project at work or a new assignment and you're working with a new team, perhaps you'll meet them through that. Or it's creative, so you could be like attending a like paint and sip class or a pottery class, and you might meet them through that. Okay, when you will meet. Okay, so we have the Devil. Don't worry about this. It's not so much about the meaning of this card. This card, I think, is associated, well, not think. I know this card is associated with an astrological sign, and that's Capricorn. So if we're looking at the Devil to mean a time period, I think it could mean that you meet them during Capricorn season, which is late December, early January. So might be some time before they come into your life. Alternatively, this card is very dark. It could mean that you meet them at night, something like that. Okay. Things you have in common. The 10 of Earth. So you guys will have a very similar approach to family and tradition, and you'll be very concerned about the welfare of other people. So maybe you both do that for work, something to do with other people, or you are very concerned with the welfare of animals, things like that. Advocates, fighting for people's rights. You guys will have similar approaches on that. Let's take a look at what you might have, the differences that you might have between the two of you. Okay, we have the 3 of Water. So you will have different approaches to friendship. So if they're more reserved, you might be more outgoing or extroverted, or you might enjoy spending your time with friends and things like that, and they might not. They might prefer to spend more time by themselves. It could also be that you have different approaches to like celebrating things and partying. They might not be a partier if they're more reserved and shy, and you might be something like that. Okay, let's take a look at some advice for you. Ooh, the Golden Fool. Okay, this is special to this deck. It's unique to this deck. It is a similar energy to the Fool card, which is about new experiences, starting something new, just going for it, not thinking too deeply about it. But in this deck, this Golden Fool it comes after the entirety of the major arcana, and it means that you have traveled, taken the journey across all of the major arcana cards, and you're going on to your next journey and applying all of the lessons that you've learned on your last journey. So it seems like you've been through a lot, and perhaps you're going through a lot right now. But you need to keep in mind that these are lessons that you've needed to learn, and you can apply the lessons that you've learned to your relationship with this next future lover that you're going to have. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Leave me a like if you did, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm a new channel, so that really helps me out. Take whatever resonated for you and leave the rest. If this doesn't sound anything like you or a possibility at all, then go back to the beginning and maybe try to reconnect and select another pile. Otherwise, thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Welcome to reading number 3. Before we get started, I am super curious, what brought you here to this reading out of these things? the black obsidian and our oracle card here, which is the last tree. I am curious about what spoke to you and how it spoke to you. Let me know. I can see how these might scare some people off. So I'm curious as to why they brought you here and what's going on with you. Otherwise, not that this indicates that this reading will be negative, by the way, at all. Otherwise, let's jump into it. We're going to learn a little bit more about your future lover. So we're going to start with what you need to do before you meet them. All right, we've got the 3 of air. So you need to find balance between your head and your heart. Perhaps you lead more with your head, perhaps you lead more with your heart. There is something out of balance here, and you need to find the middle ground between the two. Perhaps you also need to think about logically what you're expecting out of a lover versus emotionally what you're expecting out of a lover. You might have very different ideas, like the idea of what you want versus what your head is attracted to versus what your heart is attracted to. We might need to do some work on figuring that out. Okay, let's take a look at their personality. Okay, we have the 7 of air reversed. So when they come into your life, they might seem very overwhelmed and they have a lot going on. And they also might not be the most brave. So I don't think they're going to be the one that's, charging up to you, asking you out immediately. They're not going to be the most brave because they're dealing with a lot right now. They might seem really overwhelmed. Okay, let's take a look at how you'll meet them. Oh, we've got the 7 of water. Okay, so I think you're going to meet them in a situation where you have a lot of options. And to me, that speaks dating app, considering there's a lot of options on dating apps. Or somewhere where you're like out at a party and, you scan the room and you're seeing who you want to talk to, who you're interested in type of thing. It'll be a context where there's a lot of people for you to pick from. And interestingly enough, with the 7 of water, you see this massive heart on the card. And in combination with this 3 of air, this card suggests that if you lead with your heart in this situation, that will lead you to this person. Okay, let's take a look at when. We have the Hierophant here. Okay, so the Hierophant associated with Taurus, so it could be Taurus season, which is late April to late May. Could be around that time of the year. Alternatively, it could be at the moment in which you seek out guidance or advice from someone who is more wise, more experienced, something like that. So it could be that moment where you're kind of like losing hope and then you try to get some advice about how to move forward on things and then this person just pops up. Or it could be Taurus season. Okay, let's take a look at what you'll have in common with them. The Hanged Man. Okay, so you both might be kind of hesitant to act because you both are observers and thinkers. So both of you might be kind of reserved in taking action and things like that. Like kind of like this where it said, not the most brave is not going to be the one charging up to you and asking you out. This kind of relates to that. They might be more inclined to observe and hang back. And you might be as well. But I think you will also both are comfortable with charting your own path and following your own inner truth, which I think is cool. Okay, let's look at the differences. We have the 6 of air. So you guys have different approaches to how you handle challenges. And both of you have different approaches to being vulnerable. One of you might be more comfortable being vulnerable and the other person might not be. But you both handle life's challenges pretty differently. And I think you both have been on very different journeys in general. You might have different backgrounds because the 6 of air is like this journey card, kind of like a travel you see here. So you could have different travel experiences as well. And then our last card, we have advice for you. 6 of fire. So you will triumph. Whatever that means to you in this situation, you will triumph. If you've been manifesting this situation or like a lover, some kind of a romantic connection for a while, This will be the result of your manifestations. I think you also you've learned a lot of lessons, and you will continue to learn lessons through this, but it's good things. It's you're like leveling up as a person. You're learning more, you're developing, you're growing. It's all good things. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please leave me a like and let me know in the comments what drew you here. I'm super curious. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. New channel, it really helps me out. And take what has resonated, leave the rest. And if it didn't resonate at all, go back to the beginning, maybe try to reconnect with a different card in a different reading and see how that goes for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Welcome to reading number 4. Before we get started, I'm super curious as to what brought you here, whether it was our crystal, the image on the card, or the actual card itself. In this case, it was the Devas, which is divine consciousness and connecting to divine consciousness. Let me know in the comments, because I'm dying to know what is resonating with people, and your comments actually influence what I include in future videos to help people connect to an appropriate reading. So I really appreciate the comments. If you have a second, leave one for me. Otherwise, let's get started and let's take a look at what your future lover will be like. So we're going to start with what you need to do before you meet them. We have the 10 of water. So I think you need to be ready to commit to a long-term relationship before this person comes into your life. You need to make sure that you're aligned with your personal values and you're acting with love and integrity and things like that. Perhaps you have a lot of blessings in your life already, and just getting in touch with those again, gratitude, acknowledgement, things like that will really help you. But 10 of water is a long-term commitment, so be ready for that before this person comes into your life. Okay, let's take a look at their personality. 10 of air reversed. So I think they're coming out of a hard time, like a really hard time, but they're coming out of it, which is good. So they might still be dealing with some of the effects of that difficult time. We're talking like a lot of pain, depression, isolation, things like that. But they're at a point where they've accepted what's happened and they've accepted themselves, and they're enduring. They have the capability to endure difficult things. Okay, let's take a look at how you will meet them. Interesting. Ace of air reversed. So this person will come into your life perhaps when you're also having a difficult time. You've got this problem that you need to solve, and you're having a hard time seeing the solution to that problem. So since this is a lover, some issue related in love, you don't really know how to move forward. You're feeling kind of trapped by your situation. That's when this person will come in, and that's how you'll meet them. I think, with the bird flying, there could be some travel involved, maybe some long distance travel, because this is about gaining a new perspective on something. So maybe you'll go on a trip and then you'll come back and maybe you'll meet them on the trip, or maybe when you come back from the trip, something like that. Okay, let's take a look at when you'll meet them. Okay, we have the moon. So could be something to do with the moon, full moon time, things like that. But it could also be, actually this kind of makes sense. So the moon speaks to like a very confusing time period where things seem very muddled, confused. You don't really know how to move forward, which makes sense with this card here. But the moon is also Pisces, so it could be Pisces season, which is late February to late March. So it could be that time of the year, but it could also be full moon time, or it could just be a time in your life when you're very confused and you're not sure how to move forward with things. Let's take a look at what you'll have in common. 3 of fire reversed. So I think you both are creative, but you have a hard time expressing yourself and expressing your dreams, and you're feeling a little frustrated by that. Maybe you both have experienced a creative block before, And I think you guys will have that in common. You'll share that struggle. Let's take a look at your differences. 7 of water. So one of you is going to have a lot more options than the other person. This could be options of lovers. One person could just be more popular than the other one. But this could be more in general about having a lot of ideas about what to do in life. Like one person could have a million ways that they want to live their life and move forward. Like I could be a painter, a singer, a dancer, an actor, whereas the other person is very set on their path and has one solid option that they're likely to pursue in life. Okay, let's take a look at some advice. 10 of fire. So don't allow this relationship to become a burden for you. You need to release the burden. Do not claim the burden. Lay down the heavy load. If you're going through a lot of difficult things in life, then we need to release that burden and not bring that into this relationship with this future lover, your romantic relationships. And it's important to just persevere when you are going through something difficult. And it sounds like, this person has that in common as well, because they have gone through something hard and they've endured through it. And so perhaps they will be able to help you through those difficult times. They might allow them to carry you through, and sometimes you might have to carry them through. All right. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Please leave me a like if you did and let me know in the comments what brought you here. Or if you have a question or want a clarifying question for this reading, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm a new channel that really helps me out. Take whatever has resonated here and leave the rest. If you feel like this was not your reading, feel free to go back to the beginning and select another pile. Otherwise, thank you for spending some time here with me today, and I hope to see you in a future video. Welcome to reading number 5. Before we get started, I am super curious what brought you here. Was it our crystal, the image on the oracle card, or the meaning of the oracle card? In this case, it was lies and malice, which has to do with the shadow side, shadow work, things like that. If the meaning of the card is not what brought you here, don't be scared off by that. It is not indicative of what this reading is going to be like. But I am curious because I like to know what's resonating with people so I can think about what to include in future videos to help people get to the right reading. Because that is the most important, is to have people get to the right reading. Anyways, that's besides the point. Okay, leave a comment. Let me know how you got here. Otherwise, let's get into it. Let's see what we can learn about your future lover. So we're going to start off with what you need to do before you meet them. We have the Page of Earth. So you might have a deep fear of being hurt, but you need to be generous and welcoming despite that. So work on that fear of being hurt and try your best to be generous and welcoming and open, and be ready to seek out opportunities, I think, because you see that she's got her hand extended with some flowers. So be ready to be the one initiating. Okay, let's take a look at your future lover's personality. Okay, we've got the eight of Earth. They are a hard worker, a workaholic, and a lot of their personality is driven by what they do for work. So they might like to talk about work a lot. They spend a lot of time at work. They're very passionate about it. So be ready to discuss work with them. Let's take a look at how you will meet them. Okay, Justice. You might meet them through some kind of disagreement. You might, in your initial interactions, you might come together because you're disagreeing about something. But you could also meet them through the law. Not necessarily that you're going to get into legal trouble, but something through the law, you might meet them through that. If you're doing anything related to the law right now or in the future, this might bring you to your person, which isn't so bad. Okay. When you will meet them, When you'll meet them, we have 9 of Air reversed. So this could mean a couple of things. This could mean mid-Gemini season, so like early June. But this card also is about Mars in Gemini. I'm not sure where Mars is right now when this video is being posted. But if you like astrology, enjoy astrology, perhaps look up where Mars is and see when Mars is going to be moving into Gemini next, because that could be when this person comes into your life. But it could also just be more in general about them. They'll come into your life when you're coming out of a bad time, or they're coming out of a bad time, and have moved into a place of more so acceptance in the face of all of these bad things happening. That might be when you guys come together. Could be you having the bad time, or it could be them. Okay, let's take a look at what you guys have in common. 4 of Fire. You both enjoy home, and you have found home, or you're in the process of finding home. Whatever home means to you. Home can be a place, home could be a feeling, home could be the people that you're with. You both have a very strong connection to home. You're searching, or you have found your home. Differences, strength. So to me, this means that you guys have very different ideas of what strength is and what strength looks like. I have this other deck where the strength card is an image of a lion and an image of a cobra. 2 very different forms of strength, but both are valid and just different expressions of it. So I think that's what that means here. You guys have different approaches to challenges, different ways of dealing with things, and you just value different expressions of strength. Okay, let's get some advice. 3 of Water. So maintain your connection to your friends, spend time with your friends, find the joy in things and celebrate things. The 3 of Water is like party card. Get with your people and party. So maintain your connections with other people throughout this process. Spend your time with friends and celebrate the little things with them. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, leave a like. Again, let me know what brought you here. And if you have a question or a clarifying question or a question that you'd like me to do a future video on, please leave a comment. That would be really helpful. I'm always curious about what people would like to know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm a new channel. That really helps me out. Otherwise, take what resonated, leave the rest. If this didn't resonate at all, go back to the beginning and try a new pile. There still might be a reading in here for you. And thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope to see you in a future video. Reading number 6. Welcome. Before we get into it, I am curious what brought you here, whether it was the crystal, the image on the oracle card, or the meaning of the oracle card, which in this case was synchronicity. Leave a comment and let me know. I'm always curious because I like to know what resonates with people. It's so important to include things that people resonate with so they get to the right reading. So let me know in the comments. It would be super helpful. Other than that, let's dive into it. Let's see what we can find out about your future lover. We're going to start with what you need to do before you meet them. And this is the 7 of Air reversed. So move with intent. Make sure you have your intentions clear before you get into it with this person. Be brave, because you don't know what's there and that might be very scary for you, but be brave and try not to be overwhelmed in this situation. Work on keeping yourself calm and brave in the face of the unknown before you meet this person. Let's take a look at their personality. 6 of Water reversed. So they are very much youthful energy, childlike. They might even deal with a lot of nostalgia. They might like to reminisce about the past. They talk about the past a lot, stuck on something from the past, but overall very youthful energy. And then let's talk about how you will meet them. King of Fire. So I think you'll meet them through somebody else, and I think it's through this King of Fire person. So take a look at the people in your life and see if anybody sounds like this. They could be a fire sign. and look at the big three. So sun, moon, rising, look for fire signs. King of Fire is more of a masculine energy. Masculine doesn't necessarily mean man, but it means masculine. They're also very attractive, charismatic, inspiring. They're also very perceptive, and they take action. King of Fire is a person of action, and they can really rally a lot of people behind them. Hopefully that sounds like somebody in your life, because you might meet your future lover through this person. Let's take a look at when you'll meet your future lover. Seven of Water. So there's two approaches to this. We can look at the meaning of the card, which means that this person will come into your life when you have a lot of options. So Seven of Water really reminds me of dating apps, or like going to a party and seeing who's there and seeing who attracts you, things like that. So you might meet them in that kind of a circumstance. But we could also look at this with astrology, because this card can indicate late Scorpio season, which is November, or it could mean Venus in Scorpio. I don't know where Venus is right now at the time that this video is published, but take a look where Venus is right now. Even if you're watching this like way after the video has been published, that's fine. Take a look at where Venus is right now, and then you can kind of see when Venus will be in Scorpio next, because it might be at that time. Okay, let's see what you guys have in common. The Eight of Water. So you both, I think, are spiritual. You might be a little bit withdrawn from other people, and that doesn't mean like reserved or anything like that. That just means like introverted. You guys might both like to spend your time on your own, or you need your time by yourself to recharge for your spiritual time. You guys also might have a little bit of a question mark in your future, and that both might make you both nervous, but you both have faith in yourselves and you trust yourselves. Okay, let's take a look at our differences. Well, your differences between you and this future lover. Four of Water. So I think you guys will have differences when it comes to self-love. So this could be that one of you might struggle with that, the other one does not. It could be that you express self-love in different ways, so the ways that you engage in self-care might be different. And it could also mean that you guys handle frustration or boredom very differently. Okay, let's get some advice for you. Warrior of Fire. So I think you need to embody this Warrior of Fire energy a little bit. Continue searching for meaning. And even when it comes, not just like the meaning of your life, but like meaning of romance for you, of having romantic relationships, of having lovers. Continue your search for meaning and be passionate about it. Perhaps even be a little bit naive. Don't let the fear of things hold you back. Just kind of go for it. If you're feeling it, if you're passionate about it, go for it. At the same time, stick to your ideals. So if you have a very specific way that you like to be treated, or if you have certain expectations for your lovers, stick to those ideals. Don't sacrifice those. Okay? All right, I hope you liked your reading. Leave a like if you did. In the comments, again, let me know what brought you here. I'm super curious. And if you have a clarifying question, or if you have a question you want me to do in a future video, leave that in the comments too. That really helps me out. I love reading comments as well and responding. So I hope I see some comments in this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm a new channel and that really helps. Otherwise, take what resonated, leave the rest, like I always say. And if none of this really sounded like you or your situation, then go back to the beginning, try to connect with a different pile, and hopefully one of the other ones resonates for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I hope to see you in the next video.